Of course, I have to cough when I get started here. All right, so welcome to another episode of Sightreading Maverick. My dog is downstairs all by himself, and so I think he's a little bit on the sad side, if you can tell. So just try to ignore his wailing. He is just fine. He's just sad because he loves to be with me when I'm playing music. All right, so the gist of this show, in case you've never watched, is that people have sent in requests of pieces for me to sight read. It's been so much fun doing this. I'm discovering lots of wonderful music. I do talk a little bit about my process. Sometimes I'll just leap right in and see what happens, but sometimes I will also do some checks of things that are standard to help me in the process of sight reading. So I think without further ado, I'm going to begin. Hopefully my daughter will come home soon and will save the dying dog downstairs. We'll see. Oh my goodness. All right. The first piece on the docket today was a request, and the request is a piece by Maurice Ravel, which typically pieces by Maurice Ravel freak me out to sight read. But this one is at least in the style of Alexandre Borodine, so I'm hoping that it won't be as Ravelian as it could be. It's a waltz. Oh my gosh, he's just terrible. Okay, ignore the dog. It's a waltz, so it's going to be in 3/4. The first thing I notice off the bat, too, is that both hands are going to start in bass clef, which is really good to note. 5 flats, which 5 flats in general, if there aren't a lot of other accidentals, isn't too daunting. Looks like at the bottom of the first page, both hands are in treble clef. There's a lot of clef changing here for that left hand, so I'm going to need to be on the lookout for that. But it also looks like it's very motivic. It repeats a lot of the same motives over and over again. It does not change key, but there are a lot of accidentals. So that should be interesting. Fastest note value, which is another question I ask a lot, are 8th notes. In this case, I don't know, I'm going to choose a waltz tempo, so that pretty much narrows down the options. But I do want to keep in mind the flow of the 8th notes. It's marked Allegro giusto, which is pretty lively tempo. And I'm looking at the most difficult section here. It has a lot of leisure lines, so I'm figuring that out. Okay, it's mostly octaves, so I'm going to lock on to the octaves and not worry about any other voices. So, bum, bum, bum. That seems like a nice waltz tempo. Let's see if I can pull it off. 1, 2, 3. 6, I think. There's still a little bit of Ravel's voice in there, which I really appreciate, but not completely Ravelian, if that makes any sense. There were a couple spots where I went to go play a chord that had a lot of accidentals in it. And what I did in those cases is I really just tried to focus on the chords that I knew would probably be correct. And then everything else was a little bit, I would just kind of leave out. Telling you all my secrets, aren't I? All right, the next piece on the program was also requested by the same person, and it's the composer of the piece, so Louis Sauter. And I'm really excited because apparently this is a premiere. I think he might have just put this up on IMSLP. So it's a continuation of his Les Noces de Chounette, which he's been writing pieces, I believe, in honor of his marriage. So that's really kind of cool. And I think, I haven't totally figured it out, but all the pieces are based on a certain group of notes that are significant to them. So that's fun. All right, there's 3 pieces in this set. And I'm going to start with the first one, Les Bals de Hélène. Hélène is his wife, I do believe. So another waltz. Starts Andante moderato. So looks a little bit like an introduction. Then the waltz starts in earnest at the bottom of the first page. Goes from C major in that intro section and then E minor once the waltz starts. Typical waltz pattern in the left hand. Then it goes into 5 flats. It's the theme of the day is now 5 flats. So it looks like it's going to be in D flat or B flat minor. I'm not quite sure yet. Looks kind of like B flat minor. Okay, there's a lot of 8th notes once you get to this middle waltz tempo. So what I'm trying to do is figure out a pattern. There is a pattern. It's kind of got a toggle motion and then it goes up for the last note. That's kind of a general thing, but it also just wraps around. So when you've got a group of 8 notes that just kind of weaves around in your sight reading, what I really do is I like to kind of look at it like an artist would, so I just follow the shape of the line. It's very visual, so I try not to get obsessed with all the notes. So that's what I'm going to do. Does go up an octave at one point. So there you go. Oh! Hélène Sauter just said, I am Chounette. That is very cool. I'm very honored to be able to play it for you then. Oh good, my daughter's home. The dog is going crazy. Oh, he's very sad.
That's fun.
So looking at tempo, and actually it looks like the half measure at the beginning equals the full measure once you get to the waltz. long stream of eighth notes like that, it's really hard because I'm not blinking. I'm just like holding on. So that was interesting. I really liked, there were a lot of interesting chords in there that were sort of surprising and beautiful. So that was lots of fun. So very cool. I love that. The second movement is the Noces di Elena. It's a Sicilian, which I love Sicilians. One page, piece of cake, right? So a Sicilian has the rhythm. I always love that. Okay, E minor, typical Sicilian rhythms, bum, 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 bum. The only other thing I would say that's important to consider here is that we've got a lot of little inverted mordents, turns, and regular mordents. And when I'm sight reading, what I try to do is I try to do them, but I don't focus on them because I don't want to distract from the main point and the melody. Okay. 1, 2. They're the best. And I love E minor, so how can you go wrong? Okay, I don't know if I'm brave enough to try the next movement. Probably not. So I think I'm going to skip the last movement. It's a samba. I am not in a samba E mindset, so I think we're going to stop with that one for now. All right, next on the list is a piece by a female composer named Laura Netzel. She also went by the name Lago. I think she just went by one name. And let's see, this is Prelude. It's a lento, so nice and slow. I think this is a set of 3 pieces. E major. Mostly 8th notes, just 2 pages. Quite homophonic, so kind of like a hymn-like texture. When it's a hymn-like texture, that means it's kind of dense. So what I try to do is focus on the outer voices, the soprano and the bass, and then kind of fill in as I can with the harmonies. So this is obviously quite lyrical. And she was Swedish, for anybody that's wondering. amazing. That is literally the end of that piece. That's like, there's some stuff wrong about that. Okay, I think I did it right. 4, 1, 2. So obviously I'm supposed to go into the next piece, quite evidently, which is an etude, which I was going to avoid. But we're going to do it under tempo just for fun, because I want to see what it's like. That one was quite straightforward. It was a little odd harmonically, but. So this is E minor, lots of 16th notes, of course. And they're going to pass between the right hand and the left hand. So I'm going to try to grasp onto harmonies and fake it, and then focus on the right hand, which has a lot of syncopations, unfortunately. It's that way through the end. Okay, there's a weird indication at the end that I don't understand, so I'm not gonna, oh, it's supposed to go back to the beginning. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Okay. This is kind of a gamble. It would be a fun piece. Even for a student, I think that would be doable. Okay, the last movement of this Laura Netzel piece is a scherzo. I've never heard of a scherzo, but we're gonna try it. So scherzos tend to be kind of fast. Oh, he's driving me nuts. Okay. Looks like we have A minor or C major. Lots of accidentals. I'm trying to figure out why there's lots of accidentals. Not quite sure. Fastest note value are 8th notes, so that's handy to know. I think I'm gonna do da, 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 I'm gonna try that. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, actually really liked that one. That was a set of pieces by Laura Netzel, a Swedish composer. All right, moving on. Another woman composer. Do you get a theme here? This is by Josephine Lang. And this is her Grüss in die Ferne. These are all new composers to me, which is really making it fun. This is an E flat major in 2/4, and definitely the significant rhythm throughout is can go a couple different tempos, but that will help to steer which tempo I choose. And then it looks like a beautiful melody. Sometimes I like to just play a little bit of the melody to get a feel for what the piece is going to be doing, and it helps me to choose that tempo. Accompaniment in the left hand throughout. So it's all just chordal, so I really want to focus on the bass notes. Even the syncopations don't matter as much. Really want those bass notes to balance out that melody. No key changes, not a whole lot of accidentals, so this is lovely. Looks like at the very end, the left hand will get the melody. Does say allegretto and grazioso, so it shouldn't be too slow. But I'm sight reading. 1, 2. That really beautiful. Josephine Lang, Grüss in die Ferne. That would be a really good student piece, I do believe. So I'm glad to have figured that out, found that. Another one by her is a set of, I think these are songs without words. Let's see how many of them there are. Looks like there's 2 of them. And so we're going to read through these. G major. This time the left hand has a kind of a mirror, or not a mirror, but it follows the melody a lot. And then the right hand is going to have some filler triplets in there. Okay, there's a repeat at the beginning, goes back to the beginning. Looks like it changes key at the end of the second page, but it doesn't actually change the key signature. It just goes to E flat for a little bit, but then goes back. Texture is the same throughout. The filler triplets in the middle, and the melody and the melodic like bass as a duet. Okay. Tempo. It's marked allegretto again, but it's also marked cantando e con espressione. So singing, but with expression. I'm really going to make up a lot of those inner notes. 1, 2. I did something really funny at the end too. Does that 3 times. Okay, I really like that. I think it could probably probably stand to go a little bit faster than that, but gets the gist of it. The second one has a very different rhythmic pattern, but again, it's has a pattern. So we're gonna have this syncopated. Got some dotted rhythms in there. F major, allegretto grazioso again. Melody a lot of the time in those outer voices again. So I'm going to try to lock on to that. Not worry too much about that accompanimental syncopation in the middle voices. Let's see, okay, F major. It does look like it goes into A flat or F minor quite a bit because I see lots of accidentals. So it's good to know that those accidentals are really just bringing us to those keys. She chose not to actually change the key signature, so I feel a little bit better about that. Goes back to F major at the end. No really crazy rhythms or cadenza like stuff. So let's see what happens. That sounds like a good tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of funny. That's like an introduction. approved. So these were both by Josephine Lang. And I know there's quite a bit of piano music that she wrote, so I'm definitely going to be looking more into that. But really beautiful stuff, so exciting. All right, next on the list are some songs without words by, here's her name, Eugénie Satie-Barnetche. Now, she is somehow related to the famous Erik Satie. I can't remember her relation, but anyway, she's related to Satie. So that's why I was a little bit intrigued by this. Looks a little bit more on the challenging side. That's okay. And I don't know what Sois, bénie means. Bénie. Sois, bénie. We're in 6/8. Very arpeggiated figure. Kind of harp-like. So I'm not sure how that's going to work in the context of everything. Did I say what key it is? It's 4 flats, A flat major. It looks like the left hand has that a harps thing for quite a while. He does get, the 16ths do go in the right hand a bit. And then there's this grandioso section where it's kind of big, whatever. And then here's a cadenza, so we'll look at that in a second. It looks very melodramatic is what it looks like to me. So there's several places where there's like cadenza-y things, or like 9 against 3, 10 against 3. You've got these figures in the right hand. So it'll be just survival mode and trying to grasp what harmonies those runs are outlining. Let me look at this other cadenza. Then it's a scale. Oh my gosh, I have no idea what note that is. That's hilarious. C, E, G. Okay, don't tell anybody. I'm writing in what the top note is. Sorry, but it just has to be. All right, we're just gonna try it. So, dotted quarter note is 63. That's about right. I'm going to back off the tempo just a little bit since I'm sight reading. my gosh. I have no idea. Shoot, sorry. Ah! Okay, let's do the ending again now that I know what that was. That was horrible. Like the piece. I think if I did it justice. So that's good to know. Okay. Next on the list, I don't think anybody else has requested anything else. Nope. Okay. This is the Allemande fantastique by Emilie Mayer. I can't remember if I have anything else on here. Nope, this is the last one. This has some interesting rhythmic stuff in it. Okay, this is 2/4 D flat major, has an introduction. Yeah, I'm really confused by the rhythm for a sec. So the first beat of the measures are have a triplet, and then it's not a triplet. 1. Interesting. All right, we'll figure out how that goes. Dum ba bum ba ba bum bum bum. Da 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 dum bum bum bum. Oh, this is gonna play with my head. Oh my gosh. 1, 2. This will be interesting. I'm glad I saw that before I started. Oh my gosh. I may regret this, but that's okay. We've got it, right? All right. Here we go. So I totally made up that ending, but that's okay. All right, I think that's all we have time for. I'm ending a little bit early, but I want to thank you all for joining me today in discovering some music I had never heard of. So I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week, and hopefully I will see you back here next Sunday. Take care, everyone.